Hey, you guys. I'm actually just leaving work right now. But I wanted to let you guys see a little bit of work that I've been doing on the side about um, an interview that I did with someone. There's a documentary called Which Way Home, and it chronicles the lives of some youth who are taking this crazy journey from Central America, a country like Guatemala, Honduras. Some examples, two kids are from those countries in that documentary, and they're traveling from those countries to through Mexico to the U.S. And it's a really great documentary. I really highly recommend it to everybody. But I did an interview with a reporter at CNN in Espanol who interviewed the director, just to get sort of like some insight into what it was like to film a documentary like that. And it really touches on globalization. You're leaving your country and you're trying to form a new life in a totally different country. It's really good. I really recommend it. It originally aired on HBO, and I believe you can see it online now. I'm sure it'll be available on DVD by now.
Hey, thanks, Michael. So, Santhi, I know it took a number of years for Rebecca to actually film this documentary and to set everything up, and she even got a crew that was from the region.
Exactly. This was really interesting because when you think of putting a documentary together, it's several years and it's a lot of logistics go into this. It's not just get up and go. You basically have to fill out all kinds of paperwork, and she was lucky enough to get a crew down there, people that are within the region that are involved and know what's going on to help her out through the ropes and get this whole thing started. This is what she had to tell me.
There was a lot of time spent on gaining permission and accesses, scouting the locations, seeing what the situation was on the ground. Were there really many children traveling? Were there very few children? Like, how would we realistically get subjects or be able to follow children who are traveling north? So a lot of that had to do with really meeting the right crew, people to work with who are from the region. They were a great team, part of the crew, and we were really able to put the right crew together and have the right understanding of the situation and also have the permission and the access in which to do so.
So, you and Rebecca talked a lot about the youth in the film, which are the main characters in the film 11, 13 years old, very young kids crossing 3 countries.
Yeah, this was very, very interesting to me. I know that you think about people that are crossing the border, you're not thinking about children as young as 11, 12, 13 years old. I mean, and they're taking on almost adult roles because they're going cross country. They're wanting to just find a better life for their parents back home. And it's a very unrealistic view of what they might encounter, but they already have a vision of what they're going to see, as she told me.
So yeah, I think they're put in situations that adults have to face, and maybe they do assume more adult-like roles in their families to try and help them. But at heart, they're still children.
¿Ya has estado en Estados Unidos?
Nunca.
Dime, ¿cómo te imaginas Estados Unidos?
Uy, grandes torres, una gran ciudad. Ciudades grandes.
¿Cómo sabes que es así?
Porque sale en la tele, en las películas. Y ahora lo quiero ver yo en vivo.
They have not necessarily the most realistic view of what things are like in the United States, but yet they're going to risk all for achieving their dreams anyway.
And we talked about the youth in the film. I mean, there are migrants that are adults, and they say, they say in the film, if they were scared, they can't imagine how these kids are feeling. But these kids are incredibly quick-witted and smart.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, one of the very interesting points that Rebecca was able to share with me was one incident. They lost one of the kids that they were following, but when they reunited, he was very adamant in telling her what she had missed during their time apart. He was thinking amongst these adult lines.
I don't know what the children perceived in terms of this film, in terms of its process. I do know that at one point on the road, we had lost one of our subjects named Kevin. And we didn't know where he was for several weeks and turning into a month. And when we finally got reunited with him, he had said to us, "Oh, you know, I really thought it would be a great shot for you to see me throw myself at Border Patrol or see me here waiting to cross." And he said, "And I kept trying to call you, but the phone didn't work." So either he dialed or something didn't work out, but he was thinking almost like a young producer, like, "Oh, this would make a great shot in the film, so I should let them know where I am." Unfortunately, we didn't get that call, but so I think maybe some of the kids were really a bit media savvy, and you know, they watch a lot of television and movies, so they can understand, you know, filmmaking and what's possible, you know, when you watch films. But you know, other children, they're far too young. They really, all they want is to be reunited with their parents, or some children just have a desperate need to get out of their lives, you know, of lives lived on the streets, and they want to change their lives and hopefully find a loving family to adopt them. You know, I think most of the children and subjects that are in this film were thinking less of filmmaking and more about fulfilling their dreams.
No llores, papacito, no llores. ¿Qué te pasó? ¿Qué fue lo que pasó? Cuéntame. Pero no, aquí no te va a pasar nada, ¿eh? ¿Quién te trajo?
Una señora.
¿Coyota?
No,
Oficial de migración.
yo no sé qué era la señora.
¿Por qué te trajo acá?
El coyote me mandó con otro señor y el señor me entregó a otro señor. El otro señor me entregó a la señora.
O sea, es decir, que te abandonaron. Te dejaron solo.
Porque la señora se fue. Cuando nos agarraron, ella se fue.
Y solo a ti te agarraron.
Ajá.
¿Hace cuánto que no ves a tu mamá?
Como 3 años.
¿Y tu papá?
También
¿En qué lugar vive tu mamá?
en Nueva York.
¿No sabes el número de teléfono de...
So there was one really memorable part of the documentary for you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was actually the same character, Kevin, when he was back in the shelter and was talking to Rebecca and the crew. He was letting them know how parts of the trip weren't as wonderful as he had expected, or, you know, en route, he caught a very crude reality. There was a sort of a gang rape that was going on, and he was vividly explaining this to Rebecca in the documentary, and I thought that was very, very strong, especially for a child of this age to have to encounter that sort of thing.
And Rebecca Camisa, the director's not from that region, Central America, but she got a really good response from people there.
Yeah, she was a little bit taken back. She told me that she had received some reactions from Latin America and the folks that she had worked with there, but also through other folks, letting her know that they were very happy in them, you know, and her being able to tell this story and bring it out to a broader audience. And it definitely sheds light on very difficult and very, you know, fine line situation.
Some of the responses I've been very excited about are people from the region, from Central America, from Mexico, who have actually come up to me and have thanked me because they feel that the film at least respects the subject and really tells it as honestly as possible. I'm not from Latin America. I don't have Latin American roots, so I'm pretty much a stranger making a film about a culture I don't really have a personal connection to. So to hear people come from those cultures and be grateful that the film got made and be proud of it, that is really exciting to me as a filmmaker.
And so we're going to post where people can see this documentary, as well as posting your full interview on Backstory's website, cnn.com/backstory. And I know there's a way that people can actually get off the couch and help these kids
Right, step in and help. You can go to whichwayhome.net and basically donate not only to many different charities, but also you could affect these children's lives, the ones in the documentary, personally. So I think this is a great outreach, and it gets the audience in to these subjects' lives and how they can really help and affect the whole situation that's going on.
Thanks, Santhi. Back to you, Michael.